Good morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to take up a very beautiful poem from your Flamingos, and this poem is by John Keats. A little bit about the background of this great poet. John Keats, 1795 to 1821, a British romantic poet. Although he was trained to be a surgeon, he decided to devote himself wholly to poetry. Keats' secret, his power to sway and delight the readers, lies primarily in his gift for perceiving the world and living his moods and aspirations in terms of language, which you are going to enjoy in this poem. Now, this particular poem, it is taken from his poem Endymion, a poetic romance. The poem is based on a Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived on Mount Letmus, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolved to seek her out, and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. So, this is a bit about the background of the poet and the poem, which is based on Greek mythology about a shepherd named Endymion and his quest for his love Diana. How in his quest he falls in love with an earthly maiden who later turns out to be Diana herself. A thing of beauty. Now, before we read this poem, what pleasures does a beautiful thing give us? Let us ponder on it. Are beautiful things worth treasuring? So, before we take up this beautiful poem, let us try to seek answers to these questions. 1. What pleasure does a beautiful thing give us? And do you think a beautiful thing worth treasuring? So I think you all have pondered over these two questions which are posed to the readers. Now let us begin this poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a power quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways, made for our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with a green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make gainst the hot season. The mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, or lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal rain pouring onto us from the heavens spring. Now let us look into the first stanza again and try to understand what the poet is trying to convey through the first stanza. Now I'll read out the first few lines again for you. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. So the poet is emphasizing that beauty will stay forever. The joy it gives will never fade away. Its beauty will never fade away. Rather, it is going to increase with the passing time. The perception of the poet that beauty is that it never goes off with the passing time. Rather, it beautifies more and more, but will keep us a bower white for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. For the poet, beauty is like a beautiful shady tree, a bower under whose shade all creatures they can sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence of the inhuman dirt of noble natures of the gloomy days. Now the poet says that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live, though there are sad moments and cruel people around us. Now, let us look into these lines again. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. These sights of beauty which are before us, which are all around us, they give us a kind of positivity. They build in us the desire to live, although there are sad moments and cruel people, wicked people around us. Spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures. He says that although the poet is saying that there is dearth, there is shortage of humanity. There is shortage of noble people around us. There is sadness all around us. But these sights of beauty which are all around us, they give us a kind of positivity to live. We'll stop here today and we'll continue with the remaining poem in the next class. Till then, you are advised to read the entire poem and then we are going to work out the remaining poem and we'll be having a discussion where you can come up with your problems. Thank you. Have a nice day.